How you doing, everybody? Happy New Year and all that. Welcome to Crossways.
We're back.
New Year, Steph. We're
Happy
back,
New
yeah?
Year.
You having a good New Year so far?
Yeah, all great. Thank you.
Did you do any New Year's resolutions? Can I just say straight off the bat, I didn't do any.
I didn't think you would do any.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch even more kids' films this year. That's my New Year's resolution to myself when I've got my day off. I'm going to go back into the analogue of films, all the films.
What's your favourite ever one?
Incredibles.
Ah, nice.
And Incredibles or Shrek Forever After.
Oh,
Shrek
interesting pick.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch more of those films and go back to them. I remember when I used to watch them with my girls and how much fun it was and how happy it was. And because it's layered, you got a message for the kids and you got a message for the adults. It's brilliant. Do you watch Pixar films or anything?
Toy Story.
Toys. You know, Toy Story 5's coming.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've heard about it.
Then.
It's easily one of my favourites.
I'm gonna have to take my nephews to
you
go
know
and
the,
see
you know
it.
the one when Andy had to leave them with little Molly because he was going. No spoilers. Everybody should have seen it by now. When he left all these toys with Molly and he drove off. It's the saddest I've ever
Did
been.
you cry?
Watched. Absolutely, floods of tears. And now apparently the next one's going to be Andy's trying to find them for his kids.
Oh,
so he's trying to find all of the toys.
Oh no, there's going to be tears.
There's going to be tears, floods of tears. I'm going to actually sit in and I'm just going to have tissue. I'm going to sit on tissue and lie on tissue because I'm going to be crying. I love the film so much. So I'm going to watch a lot more kids' films this year. Makes me happy. Everything else cool?
Yeah, good. All good.
You know what? I was thinking with the new year and that, and with the Lionesses and how much I love the Lionesses and always reminiscing about the Lionesses, we should do an all-time Lioness team. See the players who you pick, see the players who I pick, because I think that those players should get some form of recognition for everything what they've done. Because even when you look back at the names, like some of the names that I'm gonna mention, you can't even find footage. We're not talking about 50, 60 years. We're talking about 20 odd years ago, maximum a couple of decades. And it's a real shame because I remember with me, I've been trying to ask ITV to find my first ever goal against Oldham. And they can't find it, and I'm devastated. So when you look
they can't find it, no?
They can't find it. Can't find it anywhere. Palace at home against Oldham. We beat them 3-2.
But it was a screamer as well.
It wasn't. It's just a header at the back post, but it's just I wanted to see what I looked like doing it, and they can't find it. And that's just one goal. And you've got some players, especially on here who I've mentioned, their whole career you can't find hardly any footage, and I think that's quite sad.
That was the hardest thing about even like thinking about us like an 11 for England, because like how it'd be hard to really justify.
No, but that's why for you to explain it to him, it's not our fault. But like the fact is, like you saw them, you knew what they were about. But like, unfortunately, there's no footage.
No, I know to even back that up. But
you know, it's
we're
just the way
better
it was.
Though. Yeah.
And you know what I mean. And the thing is, because of the way it's going now, and because of what your generation have done, and obviously this generation, that won't happen no more.
Yeah.
We'll have footage for days.
Yep. We will.
Footage for days. So let's do our ultimate like England squad.
And we're doing a 4-3-3.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how mine's going to turn out. In fact, let me have a quick look at my. Let me see. Mine's a 4-2-1-3.
Oh,
mine's
nice.
a 4-2-1-3. Yeah.
Single 10.
So 4-3-3 is fine. As long as there's 11.
3, everybody.
As long as as long as there's 11, I'm just going to get mine in.
Right, you can pick 11 strikers.
No, it won't be, Steph. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with my team. So let's start with the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Who are you going with?
I went with Karen Bardsley. Mainly because in terms of keepers that I've played with, like I really do feel as though like she was one of the only keepers in the world that would save shots that were going right top corner.
Wow.
Just because of her stature.
How tall was she?
Like 6'1",
Wow.
2. Bigger than Jill Scott, so that's tall. But also I think just in them moments when you want like a keeper to be able to kind of like have a moment, she always managed to do that. And I feel as though there was some tournaments where in 2017, 2019, she got injured like before semi-finals. And I do feel as though if she was in goal, we would have made both finals. And that's just my honest opinion. But I feel as though in terms of bravery and shot stopping, there was just no one better. Yeah.
I'm probably going to go with Mary Earps, even though when Serena came, I thought that Ellie Roebuck was going to be the one. And I think she got injured, didn't she? And then when you look at Mary's like journey and that, obviously she's Wolfsburg. She was at Wolfsburg as well, wasn't she? And she was just kind of on the. She wasn't nowhere near it with under Phil Neville for some reason. And then when Ellie got injured and she came in, there's a lot of people was thinking, "Wow, she's not there. She's not there. She's too small." Why has he picked her? Why she picked her? And to be honest, from the time she's gone in there, she's been magnificent.
She really has.
She's really been magnificent. She is. If you're going to really try and define this, the Lionesses and what they've done through the Euros and then even got into the World Cup, unfortunately, saved a penalty in the World Cup and done her stuff, which was really cool. I think she is the one that would be the pin-up girl of these Lionesses.
No, she is the Lionesses. If people do mention her name, it's more than likely going to be Mary Earps at this moment in time.
I didn't see it coming because even when I watched her when she first started, I thought, well, she, especially I didn't think her legs moved quick enough. Obviously, she's kind of improved that a bit. I just didn't think that she was going to go on to do what she's done now. Obviously, she's at PSG. Hopefully, she can get a game, get herself back going again. I don't know how that's going to work out with Anna Hampton now, but I think that what she's done and the way she's brought herself through her journey, got to play for England, won a final got to another final, the World Cup final, won the Golden Glove.
Yeah.
I think that she probably has to be, for me, my number one goalkeeper.
I think I told you this story before, but I think with Mary, she came as like a fourth choice keeper to Euro 2017.
Wow.
And I can remember her coming in, and I think sometimes when you are that person that's on the outside, you're not really kind of in the squad, but you're part of the group. It's a hard place to be in, but for Mary to kind of experience that and to, you know what, now as well, like keepers after sessions, they just generally just go in, they don't stay out and they don't stay in for shots for the strikers, free kicks, whatever. And Mary, every single session in that Euros, stayed out, whether I was doing my free kicks, the strikers were doing the shooting and stuff. And I'm just like, when you just know that she's got that mentality to kind of get to the top. So I feel as though Mary for the Lioness of these last 3 or 4 years has been probably the most important player, that's for sure.
I think so. Who's your right back?
I had to go Lucy Bronze.
So did I. I don't think, the only thing she hasn't won is the World Cup. I know that she got a lot of stick for, when she, in that final, she got the ball and she just started to do that and went inside like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously then the ball went over her side and then she scored. But like, in respects of a player, again, that was, how can you say? Lucy Bronze in prime, unstoppable on that right-hand side, playing into midfield, getting beyond the winger, getting crosses in, every now and then scoring, defending. I think that she was voted the best at one stage, rightly so. I don't know how many FIFA Pro teams she's been in, 3 or 4, whatever it is, but I think that she's easily been the best right back.
Yeah, without a doubt. And when you play with Lucy Bronze, and you know what her mentality is, just like, she's so determined, she's so stubborn, and like, it's just her way or no one else's way. And I think for me, having that alongside me in that position, but also watching her now, I think not only Lucy Bronze as the player on the pitch, but like what she's done for the game off the pitch. And I've been privy to a lot of the kind of like stuff that we've tried to change for the game in terms of professionalisation, making sure that the best facilities are there for the girls, in terms of also like trying to be commercially ready for people to come and kind of support us as athletes. Like, she has been a big part of that transition, and she still will be. And I think for me, I hear people try and write her off, and I'm just like, who's replacing her?
Exactly.
There's no one that can do what she can do.
And this is the thing as well, she's come back, she's gone to Chelsea. It's not like she's come back, she's gone somewhere so she can just amble through. She's gone to Chelsea with a new manager, obviously, that she knows in Sonia Bonpasta, but like, she's gone there and she knows that she's going to have to be fighting to win the league, fighting for Champions League. That's
the stubbornness though. Like, she could have probably just went, okay, like, I'll stay in Barca for another year, probably play maybe one, like, every other game, but no, like, she wants to go and win the Champions League and the league with Chelsea. And I don't know, like, for me, Lucy can be a little bit awkward, and like, that's the personality that she has, but like, if you want someone to be there fighting for you, like, and she's done it over 100 times now for England.
The thing what I like about Lucy is that when you see her and she stands and looks at you, straight. I don't care who you are. You can't stare her out.
No,
She's
you
got
really
unbelievable.
can't.
She's got unbelievable.
Sometimes
stare.
they're like, Lucy, do you actually like us? Like, I don't really know if you.
I love the fact that she's got a stare.
And I know she watches us, so hopefully she agrees with us.
I don't know if she's going to blank me or she's going to say what, but like I do love the fact that Lucy Bronze has just got that stature of great. I just love it. I love Lucy Bronze. So we both got Lucy Bronze, right? So I put, who I've got? I've got Faye White. Wasn't she your captain at Arsenal as well?
Yeah, captain
90 caps,
Arsenal.
wasn't it? 12 goals. Longest serving Lioness captain. Once I read that and saw a couple of bits, I thought, longest serving captain, probably have to put her in. What was her main strengths as well?
I think
was
for
she
me,
one
just
of those
in terms
tough strikers?
Like she's so tall, like she reads a player really well, and like then one-on-one battles, she was just so strong. And
she the captain of the quadruple, 2007.
Yeah. So like to be able to do that and to then play in these games, and she struggled with a lot of injuries when I went into Arsenal and to England with Faye, but in terms of a leadership, like she just led by example, but also so humble as well. That's what I loved about her. But for me, like personally, she was the first person to kind of like put her arm around us and be like, okay, like if you need us, I'm here. And that's why I wanted her there to get my golden cap and my frame, because I don't know, like there's some people that kind of you think, I owe a lot to you. And just to have that conversation and just to have that human touch was amazing. But as a player, I would have loved to have seen her play like in this day and age.
Why?
Because I just feel as though like all the plaudits she probably hasn't got, she would definitely get now. Yeah.
She's one of those, like, I read she played with broken nose after 30 minutes, broken cheekbone.
Yeah. Like crazy stuff like that.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She was your captain? Did you take over captaincy after her, or did you take over being centre half?
No, Casey was after Faye. So I honestly didn't ever play with Faye at centre half, maybe a few times at Arsenal.
Right.
But never at England, and that's probably one of my things I would have loved to have done, just to kind of have done that and just kind of learn even more off her. But I think, I don't know, she just had a presence. I think
one of those that so we're talking about our best England squad we can put together, and I believe that she would be the person in there that would say, yeah, we can depend on her.
Yeah, okay. I think just like in them, like like even when a cross is coming in, like when you're under a bit of pressure, she'd just be like the one that just kind of goes, okay, what pressure's that?
Yes.
And I wouldn't say like in terms of technically she was amazing, but at the same time she just knew what she could do, and she did it really good. Yeah.
Who you got? Who you got in yours?
I had Anita Asante, and she could have played in midfield, to be honest. So majority of the time she played in midfield for England, but at centre half, I absolutely loved her.
Was she good to play next to?
Yeah, so calm, so like just composed. Yeah. And for someone that you thought should have had like a bit more confidence and like a bit of arrogancy, she never ever was. And like,
what was she like around the place? Was she quite quiet? She seems to
quiet, but she was so intelligent, right? Honestly, like in terms of like meetings and stuff, she wouldn't be afraid to say something and say it well. And it was never from a selfish point of view. It was what was best for the team. But in terms of like with the ball, you just couldn't get the ball off her.
Right.
Say from centre half, but you'll get players that want to pass all the time. No, she's dribbling.
Right.
And even in midfield, just breaking up player. And so I had to put her in. I just had to.
Who's your two centre halves that you've got then? So
Faye White and Asante.
So I got Faye White and I got Steph Houghton.
Oh, you didn't do that just for this podcast.
I had to put Steph Houghton in, especially obviously the journey, everything what you've been through and that, but the fact that you are one of England's greats. I remember that obviously the goals in I know it was the Olympics. You know what I mean? The longevity of your career, everything what's happened. And there's no way I could be sitting there and not put you in there with the amount of caps you've got and what you've done, what you've achieved. So I put Steph Houghton in there.
I just couldn't put...
I think that was a good one.
Alex asked us, I was going to put myself in, and says, I'm absolutely not doing
You don't
that.
need to. You should have been confident enough to know that I would have put you in. You know, I went for left back, Rachel Unit.
Yeah,
you know,
same.
Rachel. Did you get put Rachel
I had
in?
Rachel Unit, yeah.
She was somebody who was like what Lucy Bronze is to us on the right side now. When she wasn't playing, even though she was an uncompromising defender, I'm not sure if she got forward as well as Lucy did, but when she weren't there, you had to put a right-footed player there. We couldn't really replace her. Just like, to be honest, like we can't really replace Lucy Bronze.
No, I think Unit was She was like the poster girl, really. I think
Is
that
it?
2005 like Euros where Kazkani scored the Etihad and stuff. I always remember like she was the one that everybody loved and like everybody looked up to her. And as a left back, like had a wonderful left foot. Great delivery from wide areas. Like she wouldn't be the one that would dribble like as much as a
She'd
Lucy
get it
Bronze
at her
would.
feet and whip it in.
Yeah, and like you had like people like Marianne Spacey in the
Yes.
box to be able to kind of head it. Like Kelly Smith, she'd link up with her, and I feel as though delivery from set pieces, but also 1v1. I feel as though she was always steady, and I think in international football, and probably a lot of my team is probably players that are consistent. Like you never really get like fluctuations in performances over
that's
like
what you need at that
15
level,
years. Like this is not just one season. This is like 15 years of playing international football. Yeah,
I think that's what people will understand and should understand when you're playing. When it comes to that elite kind of player, what makes you a great international player is the consistency. You know, and the experience, but it's the consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rachel Unit's a good shout then.
I think we've agreed with that one.
All right then.
Holden midfielder. Are we doing that or are you going
You could do a Holding.
Yeah, I was going to do Holden.
Well, who's
Farah.
Farah. You put Farah there.
Yeah.
It's funny because I put Farah in mine because of her passing ability as well. I didn't realise how good she was. You watch some of her stuff. She's a fantastic player.
You know what? And even like understanding of the game, like in terms of what she did with the ball, but like even in them pressured moments, like World Cup 2015, scoring that penalty in the extra time to win bronze medal, like there's only Farah would be able to do that. Maybe Farah, Kelly Smith, like they're the players where you're like, okay, but England's record cap appearance holder.
Yes. She made her debut at 17,
17, right? Yeah. Her journey's like ridiculous in terms of where she came from to where she is now. And I think Farah, you never stop talking. As a teammate, she never ever shuts up.
Was she like that in and around the dressing room?
Yeah.
Was she buzzy?
However, like I said to her the other day, I was like, Farah, I was like, you really used to annoy us a little bit, you know? And she went, why? And she's like, because we'll be ready to go out to get warmed up and you're still in your tracksuit having a cup of tea. And like that would wind me up like 2 minutes before. I'm like, oh my God, Farah, come on, let's get ready.
Was she very calm? Like, was she calm just because I don't get that impression of her. I get the impression that she's one of those like ready to go, like a little terrier.
Calm before, but like in like the actual game and like at halftime and stuff, if it's not going well, she would be able to have an input. But yeah, I really don't think people actually seen, you know, when we speak about footage and stuff, seen actually Farah when she was at her best, like in terms of like a passing range, what you said, but even like just being able to dictate it in there.
She could probably play in multiple positions with her ability.
Yeah, she played A as well. Yeah, like both footed as well. Not many people are both footed at the like in the Lionesses team now. But yeah, I think even like I was thinking Farah and I was thinking Kira. I think Kira at some point would make this team.
Yeah, you think so?
And yeah, just her ability's scary, and I feel as though she's got so much more to improve on as well, in such a good way.
Well, we'll see how hopefully.
Did you agree with Farah? Yeah,
I've got Farah Williams.
Who's your next one?
172 caps, 40 goals. My next one is the great Jill Scott. Jill Scott had to make my team because you need that player. I'm watching her in the Euros, right? When she was just in the squad, they put her in the squad. You know, she had to get herself fit. Remember what she had to do to get herself in that squad. I think she went on loan to Villa. I don't know if that worked out perfectly for her, but she got in. But when she really came to the fore in the Euros was when we brought her on against Spain. And she, you know, people say, "Oh, bring her," and she done an unbelievable job on Mateus and all that midfield. She just shut it down. You know what I mean? And you need that player. You know, as much as like when you speak to Jill, she's the first to say about her ability. She's not bothered about all that stuff, but she will.
You know what though, right? She had ability. Like I always say this to her.
But she always talks herself down like that. She always
know,
says
and I'm
that.
like, Jill, like stop saying that. Like, don't be just renowned for like this person that is going to like tackle and press and all this kind of stuff. Like, technically, Jill was good and she scored really good goals.
What I liked about it is that she knew her she knew her job and she was consistently good at what she done. She was consistently good at what she done, and to be able to bring her on in the final like that and shut it down is perfect. I think again Serena, the way she used her substitutes in that tournament was, you have to give her credit for it. But for Jill to come and not play so many games and come to a game of that significance and play like she did, fantastic. She's always going to make my team, to be honest.
You know,
always
like
need
when
that
you
player.
think about like if you had a team and you could pick any of your old teammates that you would have in your team, like Jill always would make mine, just in terms of
The work rate.
Yeah. First and foremost, but also like
The fun.
Yeah, I mean, as a teammate and then as a mate, she's just one of a kind. So we love you, Jill.
We do love Jill. Who else you got in your midfield?
Kelly Smith
In the midfield?
as a 10.
Wow.
I'm going attacking, Ian. I'm going 1 to 2.
Go on,
rather
man.
than your
You know
2
what?
and
You
a
know
1.
what? You know who I've got in my 10 is Marianne Spacey.
Nice.
I got Marianne Spacey because I met Marianne. When did I meet her? I was going out with I had a girlfriend at the time whose sister played for Fulham. Brenda Sempari, her name was. And that was when Hope played for Fulham and Marianne Spacey. And I remember watching them. And Marianne Spacey was big, strong, skillful, dribble, shoot, everything. She was just magnificent. I think what she got, I think she got 90 caps in the end. She's one of those players that I remember. It's funny when we were about to play the FA Cup final. You know when you go on the pitch, and you're wearing your suits. I remember us and Man United were on the pitch, and I think it would have been it must have been the England women's team or something was on the side of the pitch, and I remember running over to them because obviously I know Brenda because I was going out with her sister, and then I knew Hope at the time, and then obviously I knew Marianne Spacey. But watching Marianne play, again, you know, you can't find footage. Unbelievable. Running with the ball, one-touch passing, you know what I mean? Crosses, shots. Just like, you know what I mean? I complain about the fact that I can't see my first ever goal and I'm really sad about it. They've got careers that they can't see when they've done magnificent stuff.
Yeah, like they really are trailblazers. Yeah. And sometimes I don't like using that word, but they actually are. But my first ever memory of Marianne Spacey was I was 13, 14 and we went to a pre-season tournament up in Bolton. And I remember me and Jill were on the same team. We were absolutely buzzing because we just went to go and play football for 2 days and because Fulham were there.
Right.
And like I remember we had a game like in 10 minutes and we were like, shall we just go and watch Fulham? So we went and watched Fulham and like all I can remember is Marianne Spacey just heading from anywhere. Like, and I was just like, oh my God, she was like this tall. And I'm so thinking, tall. I'm like, Jill, we can't play against her. 2 games later, we're playing against her. I think we got beat about 9-1. She must have scored about 6 or 7.
She was amazing. And it's just a shame, again, with the times and the way it's panned out. But I'm sure she's somebody that she was just pleased to be playing, but her ability has to be acknowledged, man.
But Wrighty, Kelly Smith, she's the GOAT. I'm sorry.
On, man. I think that Kelly, she probably inspired the whole of that Euros team.
Yeah.
And beyond, you know, in what she'd done. She's a very quiet lady, very unassuming. Her story, again, is another amazing story, how she had to find football, you know, going to help leagues in America, leagues starting up, leagues closing down, coming back to England, you know, all her personal stuff and that. And for her to still play at the levels that she played at was, again, you know, a record England goal scorer until obviously Ellen White broke it. And I must admit, like, as much as, you know, it's a great achievement for Ellen and good luck to her, there's something that was sad for me when she broke that record because, you know, Kelly's not somebody that shouts anything off the rooftops. She's just humble and just goes about her business.
She's just an icon, isn't she?
Yeah, she's not. I believe I have to say it for her, but like she was, like, and you rightly said there, she's the GOAT, man. She's the one. She inspired a lot of people.
You know, it's just, you know, when you like watch someone and she's just so comfortable, like with the ball wherever. Yeah. She could have 3 defenders around her and she'd want the ball. And like her way of leading was her telling you to give you the ball. Like I remember I used to play right back when I first came into the squad and she would play in the 10. And she's like, Steph, just give us the ball. And you're like, oh my God, but you've got 3 people around you. And she's like, no, just give it to us. And she'd be just go on and she'd just do what you need to do.
Kelly's another one of those. She's got the Lucy Bronze stare. If she looks at you and doesn't say anything, you start to think she's going to kill me.
She's so funny though.
She is so funny.
Yeah.
She is so funny. Kelly Smith, the GOAT. And you know who else I've got in my team? Rachel Yankee.
Yes.
Rachel Yankee, you know what I mean? I remember doing, I had to do a function with Rachel. Rachel was somebody that used to be the face of like the women's game. I remember she was the face next to the players, the male players in the kit. You know what I mean? And I remember Vic Hackers always talking about her. You can see some of Rachel's goals on YouTube. She scores some unbelievable goals. But again, her journey and, you know, pretending to be a boy when she is younger. I remember doing a function with her with Purcell, And what happened was she was telling us about what the boys used to say, because she was so good. And they said, "You're a girl." And she said, "No, I'm not." And they used to want her to pull her shorts down to show. And those are the things that you don't realise what players like Rachel and all the girls have to go through at certain stages for their just to play. And for her to then go on to be such an unbelievable forward for England, I'm really proud of her story. And plus, she always used to say that I was someone she looked up to, because she didn't really have too many people that she could look up to. So I was quite pleased about that. I'm very proud of that. But what she carved out for herself, amazing.
Yeah.
Rachel.
She really was. I think, like, you go back to, like, even Bend It Like Beckham. Like, that's how I first heard of Yanks, was that film. And I think to be able to, like, share a dressing room with England and Arsenal, like, but a really, really nice girl, but also, like, top quality. Like, dribbling, she was quick, she could put a ball into the box, she could... I remember one goal she scored against Birmingham in a League Cup final. I'm like, how have you just done that volley? Like, that was just crazy. And that was when she was coming into her 30s and not at her best. But as in, like, overall, someone that we speak about consistency and someone that's really changed the game, she is definitely one of them people.
Who else you got in yours?
I was actually going to say a little mention to Hemp. Gwenno, we mentioned her a little bit in terms of that left-hand side.
Hempel.
Yeah, Hempel. You know, I think...
I'm sold on Empo. She's my favourite player.
Yeah.
You know, in what she does. And you could see, again, you know, Man City not playing, how much more difficult it is for other players to continue to play at the level they are, because she's so good. She's so missed. You know what I mean? From the first time I saw her, I just thought, wow, she can be whatever she wants. She could play for anyone she wants.
And you know what? Now teams are, like, trying to, like, kind of double up against her and try and stop her, and she's finding ways to get out of that, which that's, like, a really good sign of a good player.
She's only going to get better in that respect.
And also,
Steph,
like, for England, like, that is the player that they kind of thrive off when she's on her best form. England play well.
The main thing with Lauren is that, again, I'd like to see her be able to just dictate more, but just get on the ball wherever she can and be in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We know she can do that. We know she could do on the left-hand side, if that's, you know, coming off the left. And we know she could go down the centre. You know what I mean? I think that we should do even more to funnel the ball in and around her. Obviously, someone else we've got to mention at some stage will probably make the great teams if she carries on, and she can really, you know, really unlock her a bit, is Lauren James. At some stage, you know, hopefully she'll be somebody that'll be in the conversation. But at the moment,
she's a very special player, isn't she?
At the moment, same with Lauren Hemp. Very, very, very special player. So at some stage, I'm sure Lauren Hemp will be in there.
Right, who did you put on the right wing?
Kaz Carney.
Oh, it has to be Kaz. Yes.
You know something? What I love about Kaz is just, like, when you speak to Kaz, she's so focused, man. What was she like in the dressing room?
You know what? She was quite chill.
They said she's a wizard.
Fair.
She's a wizard. You know what I've seen, but she's so skillful.
Honestly, so, like, lightweight, but, like, with the ball and stuff, like, in terms of creativity. It's like, I put her on the right wing, but she played a lot of times in the 10 for England. Yeah. But I feel as though for Kaz, in terms of skill and just that drive, that's why she's in my team.
When people talk about Karen Carney being a wizard on the wing, getting past people, she's the person that can unlock defences as well. Yeah,
she definitely can. I think even, like, just to have her as a teammate, as, like, a discipline and like a strive and, like, to get more and to do more. Like, we know what she's been doing off the pitch. And, like, even as a friend as well, just to have someone like that understands is like, you just can't buy them sorts of people. But I think in terms of not only attacking but a work rate. Getting back and doubling up was...
And you know what, and I love, again, because she's a friend now. She's not in it just because she's my friend. She's in it because of her capability. But, you know, everything what she's trying to do now with the game and raising the minimum standards of the game, the review what she done, talking about a person that's really dedicated to the game and dedicated to the bettering of the game, the betterment of the game. And that's what I love about her. Not only was she a magnificent player, but she's doing everything she can for next generations to actually not experience what all of you ladies had to experience. You know, so obviously I got Kelly Smith as up front. She's at my top.
I put Ellen White. I put Ellen White. I think England's all-time goal scorer, one of my besties, but not just because she's one of my besties. the fact that she scored that many goals. And
is she, like I say, is she the one that against the toughest defenders with these players around her, she would score goals in that team?
Yeah, you put a ball in the box and she's scoring.
Right.
And also, as a pressing forward and someone that works defensively, like, there's no one better than her. And I think that's the level that Russo could get to.
You think?
If she could get to that level, then I think...
But what I have to give Ellen White is her natural instinct to be in the box. Something that...
You know that one, like, across the front post?
Yes.
Like, I don't think you see that many strikers do that now, or even, like, throwing the, like... the amount of diving headers she would do. And, like, if you're marking her in training, I'm like, Ellen, please don't, because I'll kick you. Like, kind of thing.
I'll kick your head in.
But she's just not bothered. Like, she'll just throw her body on the line and she'll just put her body in front of shots. She loved defending as a forward, which was a bit weird, but... I think that's what kind of like got her like to where she has been, because she'd like to do that stuff. And when she did all that stuff, the goals came.
I think that what she was very fortunate with is the players that she had around her, her focus was in the box. It's something that maybe Leslie can look at and see from Ellen is how she moves in the box.
That took a while though for Ellen to be able to nail that though, because I think I see Russo in Ellen in terms of like she would do a lot of running away from the box on like good runs, but then there'll be no one in there especially when you're on your own. And sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish and allow them players to do the work, so then you can go and score the goals. I think like just in terms of someone that leads a line, like I don't think there was anyone better than her. Mm-hmm.
So let's just name your team. Let me see.
Oh, so I wanted just to give a shout out to Katie Chapman.
Katie Chapman.
Yeah. I think in terms of an all-round midfielder and someone that you need just to kind of put a tackle in.
Is she kind of like, was she on the Jill Scott kind of like
Yeah,
player?
like when her and Jill used to play together, like they were similar in terms of like box to box, like getting up and down, but Chapman like in terms of heading, tackling, stuff that we probably don't think, oh, that's good now. Like we don't really prioritise. That was like her best attributes, and like she played since she was 16, 17, winning trophies every single year.
I'm going to mention Casey Stoney.
Yep.
I'm going to mention Casey Stoney. There's a couple of, I've got a couple written down as...
it was hard, guys, to do this.
Yeah, I've got like Mary Phillip, versatile as well, the first black Lioness captain. She's got to mention Mary Phillip. Gillian Coulthard, first Lioness to get to 100 caps.
We've mentioned Hope Powell.
Yeah, Hope Powell. And look, I've got Bright down here, Hemp, Williamson, Russo.
Alex Scott.
Yeah, you can mention Alex Scott because there's a time where she was one of the best right backs in the world.
She changed like the kind of perception of fullbacks, and as younger players coming through, like she was one of the fittest people on the team. She would get up and down, and that was what we kind of then had to try and emulate when we were going in. So, and obviously when you win I think she won over 130, 140 caps. Like you can't really not mention someone like her.
Yeah, Alex Scott gets a mention, but unfortunately, again, you're trying to get in at Lucy Bronze's position. You know, it's like the hole left. The hole that's going to be left when Lucy goes is something I'm not looking forward to. But
strong team, that,
it's
you know.
Feels
like we've got a lot of the same people.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased about my team. I'm happy with my front four of Spacey, Carney, Smith, and Yankee.
Goals in
and
that.
At the back there with yourself and Faye. You know, with
no goals.
No goals. I think my team's causing problems here, man. Yeah, I love that team.
I'm happy with that.
You happy with that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice one. Now we have to pick 11 from our combines.
Right.
So you've gone with Karen Bardsey, right?
Yeah. But I can understand the shout for Mary Earps. Rightly so too.
So we're going to go with Mary Earps as our goalkeeper. Right. We both picked Rachel Unit and Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, and Faye White we did, didn't we?
And Faye White. So the only one
I'm
we have to worry
arguing
about
about myself, no way.
Are you happy with Steph Houghton being in there, though? I'm happy with Steph Houghton being in there. Anybody who's not happy with Steph Houghton being in there, don't write in. Steph Houghton's there. So we're happy with our back five.
Yeah, that's fine.
Our back five.
That's solid, that, yeah.
What about our midfield? Who did you have in the midfield for yours? Because
I had Farah, Jill, and I had Kelly.
See, I've got Farah and Jill. Obviously, I've got Kelly up top, though. What formation we playing now? Because what formation we playing now?
We're not playing your formation, that's for sure.
So now so we've got the same people, but we've got a different.
Unless you go.
Unless we go what?
You have to have Kelly and Ellen in. I'm sorry.
No. So who's going to have to come out? Someone's going to have to come out. I can't take Karen Carney out. I'm going to work with her soon. No,
And you're
something?
Rachel Yankee's hero, so you can't take her out.
No, I can't take
either.
her out. And I can't take Katie Smith because she's
So
my
that
hero.
Marianne Spacey's out, unfortunately.
You're going to take Marianne Spacey out?
She can come on the last 20 minutes and win the
game.
So Ellen can do all the running.
So we've got Williams, Scott and Smith in there, right? So them two are the two pivots. And then...
No, a 1 and a 2.
What do you mean? So them 1 and 2. So who's going to be playing the double 10 kind of thing then?
Jill and Kelly.
Jill Scott's going to be playing. Jill's kind of
Jill
holder.
can play 8.
Can she? So she'll be bombing up.
When you see Jill, she'll be fuming that you think she's a holder.
I just want Jill holding. No. So if Jill can be there, so we've got Williams, we've got Farah, Jill and Kelly 10. And then up top who's?
Kaz, Yanks,
Carney.
And Ellen.
Right. So we've got Yanks and Helen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Do you want to read it out, Steph?
Yeah, I don't want to start on this posh pad. Mary Earps, Lucy Bronze, Faye White, not me.
Steph's their own voice.
Rachel Unit, Farrah Williams, Holden.
I would change that round, Steph. I'd have.
That's
Farrah...
not very balanced. It's not.
You think Jill wouldn't... Okay, then go on.
Jill Scott.
Jill Scott.
In advance with Kelly Smith. Kaz Carney, your mate.
Mm-hmm.
Ellen White, Rachel Yankee.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that team.
And who we going as manager?
I think there's two main characters for me. Obviously, we have to look at our current manager, Serena, who's obviously she delivered the Euros to us, which is fantastic. But we've also got Hope Powell, who's done unbelievable stuff for England, the England setup and what she's done. And for me, I don't know who you would go for, Steph, but can I say who I'm going for?
Yeah, go on.
I think I would want Hope Powell to manage this team.
Mm-hmm.
This particular team that we've picked. I think that it would be brilliant for her to be able to manage a team of that stature. She's probably managed at some stage, been involved with all of those players. Somewhere along the line, it would have been amazing if she was able to take the team to do what Serena's done. But at the same time, I think that what she's done, what she's given the game, her sacrifices for the game, she's a fantastic player herself. I'm probably going to go for Hope, I think.
Yeah, I would agree in the sense of, she really started this journey to us winning the Euros, and Serena has been able to kind of finish that job and to get us that trophy that we've all been trying to get over however many years. But for Hope, as a manager, I think for me, she was, I was scared of her when I went into, and I'm not even joking, I always say this to her now, I was actually really scared of her, but she just had this aura about her, and the fact that she'd played for England, but also as a manager in terms of what she did on the pitch. I know we've been joking about formations and tactics, but we played this formation and from a technical point of view, she really kind of honed in them real basics. And I think sometimes when you're on a journey that we've been on in women's football, I think you need someone to really start from that point to get to where we are now. And she was such a big driver in that. And yeah, I've got so much admiration for her. And obviously it wasn't as easy as it probably is now in terms of support and the staff that you have. She pretty much did it all by herself, and she's brought all those players that we spoke about on our team through the ranks at England and gave them debuts, which is absolutely unbelievable. So
I think that's conclusively...
we've agreed on that one.
I think it's conclusively going to be Hope Powell. Well done, Hope. You know what? Hope should be managing that team. I'm really pleased with that.
A lot of the players that she did manage, though, really. That was her team, really.
Yeah, I'm having that, Steph.
Yeah?
You know what I'm pleased about with that, Steph, is the mention for people like Marianne Spacey, even though you took her out of the last bit.
No, I put her on the bench as a super
You put her on
sub.
the bench. She'd be a fantastic super sub. Rachel Unit's got to get a mention. Faye White. It's brilliant to hear those players getting a mention.
I wonder if we did this in a couple of years' time, how many would change? Because there's so many good players now for the Lionesses.
Yeah, but this is why doing it now is quite cool, because I think that those players that we've got there, I don't think too many people can argue with that. But like we've got some players coming, like we've mentioned, in Lauren Hemp and Millie Bright, you know, Leah Williamson, Russo, you know, Lauren James. These players, it's up to them to blast now, because let's face it, the opportunities that they have, the players that we've got in there, those opportunities are just coming now. So it's going to be a normal and natural thing for these players to go forward and achieve. So I think that it's going to be, in another 5 years' time, we might be able to do it again, and then we'll see what the team looks like. So that's it for this week. Hey, Steph, that was pretty good fun, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I really did like that as well. It's nice hearing about those players. We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week with Crossways.
See you next week, guys.
See you next week, guys. It's been really good.